Hi everyone, it's Luli and Cyprian and Teresa. We're here in Katya's beautiful, this little sanctuary right here. Like you can hold meditations here and yoga. Yes, it's gorgeous here. And we're here talking to Cyprian Diaz, and he is an astrologer, a shaman, Akashic Records, and we want to interview him a little bit so he can explain what he does. So how are you doing, Cyprian?
I'm doing fine. It's a nice, cool, cloudy day.
It is. It is a little
Thank God
chilly.
it's not raining at the moment while the sun is like up one last time before it soon sets. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask you questions. When did you start doing astrology?
I started doing it 20 plus years ago, like researched on my own since I was a teenager. At first, back in the 90s, we didn't have internet or these technical computer systems that automatically aligned the planets and showed everything in the sky according to the time and the date.
Is that what the programs do now for astrologers?
Yes, it does do
So
that.
you're old school.
Yeah.
Old
Well,
school.
that's what I started off as though, but then I was born in the late 70s, so a bit of an old school right there.
Yeah.
Not like the early 60s.
Yes. But yeah, anyway, I started off with just monthly horoscopes. You just know your sun sign, which is okay, she's a Pisces, and me and her are Virgos, and that's what I've known growing up. I'm that's just not all there is to us when it comes to the basic description of just your one sign or your birthday sign that you're born with, which is only the sun sign. And then I learned over time that there's actually 9 planets in each sign, indicating the placements of the planets in the signs the moment you came out of your mom's womb.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
that just makes up a whole natal or birth chart. And then from there, I started studying more of the planetary placements and the movements in the sky and in the cosmos. And then the signs represent each constellation celestial body. And then there's the houses and other asteroids added into it. So it's more of a technical pseudo-scientific system that just you work through throughout time.
Okay.
Yes, and then even today, no matter what level you're at, even though you're a master, there's always something that you learn when it comes to the pseudoscience of astrology. And
I have a question. So, okay, I'm a Virgo, right? September 20th. I'm not saying what year. No, I'm kidding. So, I always say to myself that I am not a Virgo.
because you're not a perfectionist and you're
I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not critical. I don't care if something's outside the lines, and I don't get upset if something's not completed, and I'm pretty chaotic. So I always say I'm not a Virgo. But you explained to me what I was.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when it comes to Virgo, though, each sign has a negative side to it. The shadow side of Virgo, even though they can be neat freaks, when things get messy in their mind and then they over perfect themselves, they can be the opposite, messy, all over the place, because it's a Mercury ruled sign, which is of the mind,
Right.
and it rules neuroticism and these areas too. But then it's an information junkie. It's not just information in the mind, but information in your body, in your cells. And then you don't realize how much information you're consuming in your body when you're exposed to energy as well.
I get it. So, but a lot of people always say, "Oh my God, you're all over the place. You're like the Tasmanian devil. You're just running, and you give me anxiety, right?" And yet, I don't feel that way inside. Inside, I feel calm. Inside, there isn't any of this anxiety, chatter. Oh my God, what am I going to do? There's none of that. It's very calm.
And
But external, I'm not. Definitely.
Virgo rules the central nervous system and the digestive system. But think about when roaches freak you out. Oh,
Today, Thomas,
I remember.
we were planting something, and I screamed. I goes, "What is it this time?" And I looked over, and it was a stick.
Oh my god.
And then I screamed. What was it? It was a roly-poly.
Oh my
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true.
So that has to do with her sign and
Yes, that's just her sun sign, but then just 9 other major planets in each of her that represents each of her other signs. Like the moon, it's in Gemini. That means it's fast-paced multitasking. but then it's kind of like, you know, that's why like when it comes to like emotions, I don't feel, or like I just don't think, because like the moon in Gemini is like a complex placement, because like the moon is about emotions and your inner world too. And Gemini is about community, like it's about community and like, you know, immediate surroundings and like short trips. So like, you know, you have your car, it doesn't have to be like all bougie and stuff, and then like you're here and there coming from work and like coming to like, you know, the sun on the star and like doing a lot of things at once and stuff though.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that like, you know, you're actually like thinking about it though, because like, you know, you're taking action with it already, with all that
Right,
information.
got
That's
it.
like,
So what are you, Teresa? You're
Oh,
Aquarius?
Pisces, of course.
I actually
Pisces.
have my birth chart.
Yes.
You
and I'll
do.
see it. Yes.
You want to see
Yes.
it?
And I'll
Okay.
like analyze from
Oh my
there.
gosh,
And I'll tell you like
that's
what's up.
awesome.
Someone just gave it to me out of the blue one day.
And since it's your birthday, you know,
Yes, it's Teresa's
I'm a
birthday, everybody.
What a
Happy
coincidence.
birthday.
if you like a solar return at any time, you know, let me know. Yes. Or like
Yeah.
I could just do like a snippet of like, you know, a solar return if time like allows.
I always think too, like it's a super nice gift to give somebody. Sometimes, you know, you don't know what to give somebody.
Yes.
I remember I called you one time. I said, you know what, can you do a chart on my kids? And they loved it. So that's what you should start doing. Give
Yes.
charts. Yes.
Yeah, I just
Can
don't
you
need
do
to do
that
like
for
the solar return, like, you know, report and everything. I just want to make it all perfect because the Virgo's coming out of me. That's why it's like divine
Yeah.
timing is still like, you
That
know,
is
dragging.
true.
So this is what my phone is showing. Some type. I'm sure you have the best method. This is just from online.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. This is like, you know, there's like so many like, you know, chart wheel styles out there. Oh, you use whole sign, huh? You know, like every astrologer uses different house systems though. But like I read like, you know, the Placidus chart because like, you know, I feel like that's like best suited for this style of astrology that I do, which is like Western classical and everything.
You know
But-
what, I'm going to interrupt really quick, and I will say this, is that Cyprian, what I've heard about the way you read is that it's a layer, and then another layer, and then another layer. What he has to his astrology, and I get it, a lot of people can do the methods, and oh my god, so you do this, you do that, and this house, it's over, this is rising, and but what you have is you have this intuitive factor in what you do. Because every time you've read somebody and every time he's done a reading or he's done a chart with somebody, they come out like, wow, like you know, he knew more than I ever even thought he would. Because everybody who usually comes to you are already understanding this, but you really go in there and you surprise them.
Yeah.
And that's your intuitiveness.
Yeah, and like the main thing is like, you know, even through the charts and my intuition, I just don't want to just tell somebody think about somebody that they already know.
Right.
Because like the point is just that like, you know, they need to like really look at things more so inside themselves, and even like, you know, more beyond that too, because it's just more than like their identity or their ego here. You know, they have like a soul. Though. You know, that's why like there's like, you know, we call it metaphysics, which is beyond like, you know, just like the five like senses too.
Right.
Oh, speaking of which, I look at it here. I'm just gonna look at her like, you know, other planetary placements. She has like the moon in Taurus. This is like a good place for the moon to be in because it's at its like, you know, exaltation or like its comfort zone in that sign, which is why like eventually like, you know, it's authentic and natural when it comes to like your intuition coming to you, because the moon represents intuition as well when it comes to like, you know, the planets in comparison. And Taurus though, it's like earthy. You just want to be relatable when it comes to like, you know, just like emotionally like relating though, but then as well as like tapping into your feminine side, because the moon is about the feminine while the sun is about the masculine. So that's like, you know, which one call contrast right there when it comes to like the luminaries. And then like you have a rising in Gemini. I have rising in Gemini as well, and the ascendant or rising sign is the mask you put onto the world. So first impression though, it's like when they come across you, it's like, oh, you have so much information, you seem so youthful, you know. That's what, like, you know, what I
It's
get when
true.
it comes to like
That's true.
ascendant in Gemini as well. And
I wish I had that.
you just yes.
Everything
Well, you're the moon in
comes with
Gemini,
its price.
so
Oh, there
you know
you go.
you come close to that. And then like, so it's just kind of like, you know, it's just like, you know, you quick like, you know, response or whatnot, and it just comes out as well without you realizing it. And then like when you look back about like, you know, how you communicated and stuff, I'm like, did I see that? Did I do that though?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember that part. So
For sure.
that's like, you know, what I found, because, you know, we just like, you know, think so much, if we're curious about like, you know, what would happen or how we perform ourselves or how we look, even though like sometimes like Gemini represents nervous energy, and it's kind of like, oh no, like, you know, did I say that? Did I react that way? Do I sound like that too? But then over time, we get used to it to the point where we just like take it with like simplicity, and with trial and error we get used to what we repeat over and over again, and that's like supposed to know our information voice of just like you could say the art on Akashic records, which is what we do too.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that's and
And
that's
I'm
something.
sure there's like tons and tons of, you're just so full of information.
He really
I
is.
need to,
You-
have a one-on-one.
You
Exchange.
should.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in getting a reading with Cyprian, follow us at Sedona Star Holistic Spa. He's one of our practitioners there.
Yeah.
He also does Akashic Records and all of that. And this is your Katya. This
Yes.
is your so I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, is that
Katya's.
Katya?
Astrology chart.
Her astrology chart. Can you read
Oh yeah, that's like well crafted. Okay.
Oh, and
Yeah,
let me
one-
show everyone.
Yeah,
Let me show
show
everyone. Okay,
everyone.
so this is the zoomed in. Ooh, now everybody knows.
Throw up on me.
Great artist that did that.
I didn't even ask you.
I think this is what we should do, like on dating apps, right? Astrological. Well, you know what? I will say something that we have a yoga instructor. I won't name names, but he had an arranged marriage, and they went by their astrological signs. They went by their human design signs, everything, and they've had this happy marriage for 15 years. So-
I'm gonna. Okay, so there's this book. It's called Jesus and the Essenes, and it talks right there about how back in the day, all the apostles had a partner, a female partner, and that they were all paired by looking at their astrological signs too.
Yeah, I can see that.
When I read that book, I was like, oh, I need to get mine done. And look at
There should be a dating app.
everything.
There should be.
Yeah.
Katya, that's a good little idea. Yeah.
Yay.
Right?
Yes.
Little dating app, based on astrological signs.
Yeah, they have those out there like these days. I like consume like a couple of them, but like I guess like when it's like so new, they're like new apps and it's like a trend. So it's kind of like with the technology with that like going on, you gotta like kind of like just like be careful with any type of like just like fake profiles or whatever.
it is
But it's
true.
like a
That's
process
true.
too.
Ah, but you know what? Yeah.
But then
But
there's-
that happens now anyway. I know somebody who had a picture of this guy, and it was like he was like 30 years younger than when she saw him in person. Yeah, so they do that
What?
too. Oh yeah.
Wow.
But there are like I'm pretty sure there's like other online astrology like platforms and groups that
Yeah.
that are like more like I think Facebook astrology groups too, or like Instagram or wherever else through a community, because I'm part of like the Southern California Astrological Network as well, which is based in South Orange County.
It's good to be connected to a network.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then they have like certain resources and stuff to like group people. That's like these are people who have at least some basic understanding of astrology.
Right.
And they know at least their big three, like which is their sun, moon, and ascendant and rising, and we swap charts. And then from there we could just determine like what's like a good potential match or whatnot. But then speaking of which, that's what you do in an astrology chart system. Is a synastry reading or a composite. And like when you look at that, these are like not designed to like make or break a relationship, despite how many positive or negative aspects are in there. It just gets to like give you a guideline or a guide to like see where your strengths and weaknesses are within the relationship.
Like to
Right.
understand each other.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, thank you so much for all this information. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Is there
of
anything
course.
you'd like to share anymore before we sign off?
Just like reach out if you're interested in any types of chart readings. I do not only natal or solar return charts. I do time transit charts, progression charts, of course synastry relationship and composite relationship charts as well. And yeah.
I'm sure we'll do
Alright.
another one of these
Ooh,
talking
what-
about each of those, because there's a lot
Yes.
of people that want to know like the differences.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that's true. And you know what? If you want, just go ahead and maybe they can just email us or on SedonaStarHolisticSpa.com, and then we'll maybe do your chart online. We don't have to show your face or anything, but just we'll do your chart.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And anything you want to sign off with?
I am just so happy that I found Sedona Star.
Aw.
It's my new family community. I just get along with everybody. Everybody, it's like we have like the same interests,
Yeah.
But it's like friends, it's like family. We support each other,
Right.
and I welcome everybody to come and be a part of our community.
Yeah, and you know what? Today, what happened was we were talking about this, and and truly we were saying, what is the draw, right? And we said, a lot of people said, like, if it wasn't for Vasu, who is the our yoga instructor, he's a teacher there, and if it wasn't for him, what he does, he's the beacon of light that all of us are drawn to. So he's the beacon, right? That's emanating all this light, and all these people are coming, and so we're all vibrating on the same frequency. So it's like it all gels. We're all like I said at the retreat. There wasn't one person that could ever ask anything of me that I would not say yes to. Right? And that's how I feel. And it's like, it doesn't matter if we've only known each other 2 weeks or 3 months or whatever. It's how we feel,
Yeah.
So
It's not about the business, which is also important because
Yeah.
you gotta survive. But everything's taken care of. It's
Right.
it's a community. What's most important,
it is.
and that's what gets it going.
Yeah, and I will tell you something about Cyprian. So we belong to this. We were both on the board of directors to this other organization. I won't name it, but anyway, I remember it was during COVID, and so there's just we saw just pictures, right? And he just had a picture of himself. He wasn't even online. And so we would talk, and he would never say anything. And there were people arguing and everything, and he would never say anything. But every time he spoke, it was always in the greater good of everyone. And it was never partisan. It was never this person, that person. It was always for the greater good. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, if I ever start anything, I want that man in my space, because it was just goodness. And I'm telling you,
Genuine.
the heart
honest.
is as big as the sun. It really is.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cyprian Diaz, everybody, and thank you for listening and taking some time, and have a great night. Bye. And happy birthday to Teresa.
Yes,
Thank
happy
you.
solar return.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.